Hello, everyone. My name is Danny. This review is for the movie called The Grinch. Illumination and Universal Pictures present The Grinch, based on Dr. Seuss's beloved classic. The Grinch tells the story of a cynical grump who goes on a mission to steal Christmas, only to have his heart changed by a young girl's generous spirit. Funny, heartwarming, and visually stunning, The Grinch is fun for the whole family. This is a 2018 film. It is rated PG. It runs an hour and a half, and it stars the voice talents of Benedict Cumberbatch, Rashida Jones, Kenan Thompson, Angela Lansbury, and Pharrell Williams. The Grinch. Well, as everybody knows, whether you've seen this movie or not yet, this is a 2019 version of this movie, and it is supposed to be a classic, and it is supposed to be a remake, and so a lot of stuff that happens in the movie, obviously, people know is coming. It's the same thing as prior movies made of this, so in that sense, it's fine and it's enjoyable because we know what's going to be and we know how it's going to be. And so, for me as an adult, and I think other adults will be able to relate, when you see something so many times, and we have seen so many different versions of movies, in this day and age, it's hard to enjoy every single one, like unless it's your absolute favorite in the world. And so I don't know how many people have their favorite movie as The Grinch and they actually enjoy all these versions of it, but that's fine if it is. It is sort of funny. It is very visually stunning. I will say that. It's very pleasant to the eye, especially for children. They'll just be fascinated most of the time with all this color and all the lights and gizmo gadgets that the Grinch comes up with. There's just a bunch of stuff going on, and I think anybody just watching the film will enjoy everything that's going on with it. As a movie critic, I've just got to say a couple things. I don't remember in prior Grinch movies them stressing so hard that he's just lonely. And it's kind of awkward for me watching this version that I just watched and just hearing about him being an orphan and, you know, not having anybody around and coming up with this scheme just to make other people miserable. Like, I know that's his mantra, but I don't think the other movies have stressed how much he's just felt lonely, looking through a window at a family and doing this and doing that. And if my memory doesn't serve right, that's fine. If all the movies are like this, it's still awkward. I don't know why people are watching the Grinch movie of any kind and seeing how lonely he is and having it make sense in their mind that that's why he hates things. And that's not really a reason to like hate other people, but I don't know, it just didn't make much sense to me while I was watching it. And if it makes any sense to anybody, great. If not, we're moving on. My other big note is that Whoville is not all that perfect. And from my sense of the universe that they're trying to create, Whoville is supposed to be like loving and tender and kind and everything. And he actually goes to visit it a couple times, which is again weird. I don't remember it being like that. But he goes there for a shopping trip. He obviously has to go there for a couple other things because it's the only source of, place to go for things. And people are like either overly dramatically nice or they like are a little bit offstandish. And one guy is genuinely nice that comes along, and he's the one that kind of lives up the hill, towards the Grinch's home. He seems pretty genuine, but everybody else just kind of seems a little like normal, like it's a normal village. But I have a image painted in my mind that Whoville is supposed to be like perfect, and especially at Christmas time. So maybe it's not supposed to be. Maybe I'm getting weird expectations, but it just seemed weird that they weren't all that nice. Some of the kids were saying that their mom had a time frame for them to be home, and they were complaining, and I just don't remember that about the Grinch movie, that that they're very complaining and very disobedient and stuff like that. I just don't remember that being part of the movie. The last thing about the Grinch, and maybe this is with every other movie too, I just don't really remember these. I haven't really ever been a big fan, of the Grinch movies. I kind of see them and then I move along with my life. And so my big problem with this whole concept of the Grinch, and it very much is apparent with this movie because they introduce two animals in the Grinch's life. So he has this dog. Max is awesome. He's a great character for the movie. And he has this reindeer. And we saw the previews a million times. That's why I didn't see it in theaters. That's why I'm seeing it here in April of 2019. But we knew that these characters were being introduced into this movie. And this Grinch in 2018 version movie is like very loving of his animals. So that goes back to my first point. Like if he's lonely, well, he's still got animals that he has tons and outpouring affection for. He lets them sleep in his bed. He sets the reindeer free when he sees that it has a family. He cares for Max more than any person probably cares for their own children. It just the concept of being hateful and revengeful after loving your animals so much just blows my mind. And I just didn't get much out of the movie once I, came to that realization that the Grinch is probably the most loving person in this movie, but then he hates Christmas and hates everybody having families and stuff. So I think it's on the borderline of a good discussion to say why doesn't he count his trusty sidekick that does everything with him and thinks about him for coffee in the morning and everything, his dog Max. Why doesn't he value him as much as people value people? I think it's a good question. I know it's a cartoon. I know it's a little overboard, but I think it's a valid question. So, just the concept of the Grinch, I'm going to give this movie in the range of a C. But like I said, there's a couple laughs. In the end, some people might have justification to cry because it's a feel-good moment. But there's a few laughs, not like ha-ha, out loud laughs, but, chuckles, I guess. And just the visual stunningness of this movie and all the color. I'll give it a C+. A C+ for the Grinch. Thanks a lot, guys. My name's Danny. If you like this or any of my other videos, try and give something to watch. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would. And enjoy your movies. Thanks.